She no longer could feel the victim because she could no longer feel us attacking her because we just gave up. We didn't care about her anymore.
All of you are just kind of jerks. I don't want to be around you. And I'm tired of it. And I don't want to call them, and I don't want to talk to them.
And that's why I'm done with Robyn. I don't care to talk to Robyn anymore. I'm not going to do this. And Robyn's mad that she can't have this effect on our lives anymore because we just don't care anymore.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, I just did the first part of this massive conversation that took place between Garrison, Savannah, Gabriel, Gwendolyn, Christine, and Janelle. In my first video, we discussed how Robyn's gaslighting and accusations towards the kids, basically flipping the script that she was the one that was hurt, not them, resulted in her inserting herself into a gift exchange, subsequently making it all about her, playing the victim card, and then once completed with that, when not getting her way, threw a temper tantrum, decided that she was no longer going to be friends with any of them, cut contact with all of them, but instead of doing that, she actually sent her flying monkey McKelty to end family relationships with Kody and Robyn with the siblings. Pretty disgusting if you think about it. Now in this episode of Without a Crystal Ball, we're going to talk about how Kody made some incredibly disparaging comments about his children, including that they were jerks, that he didn't want to talk to them anymore, and he wanted nothing to do with them. Kody's mask completely slipped when he was exposed by Garrison. He lost his marbles and he showed us the true Kody Brown. And I want to point out that this entire conversation proves that the entire storyline about Christmas, about are they going to have it together, are they not going to have it together, and Robyn trying to persuade Kody not to have Christmas with his kids was made up, because they filmed all of that after Kody and Robyn cut them all off. Kody and Robyn cut the family off in November. When they were filming and discussing Christmas after all of that, they had already made their decision. Kody and Robyn played the victim to fans, pretending like they were the ones that were being persecuted and being wrongly accused of behaviors to cover for the truth. And what Kody and Robyn can't do anymore is hide, because as Christine said last night, they're finally telling the truth. That's right. Christine actually admitted that for years on the show, they were basically pretending to be a happy family when they weren't. And now they're finally getting vulnerable. So let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, can you please give me do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Click on the bell so you can get notified of any time I go live or new content loads. If you have something that you'd like to say, make sure to say it, and please share this video with your friends.
And I'm not speaking on behalf of the siblings, but this is what I think all the siblings think. That this is us going, you know what, Robyn? Have him. Because we don't care anymore. We're all grown adults that don't need a father figure anymore.
I would like to say that I didn't care.
Yeah.
But it still hurts.
We don't need dad anymore.
I think every kid needs a dad. Always.
After years of battling for attention, for affection, for just being acknowledged by their father, because Robyn continuously plays the victim, which makes Kody have to rescue her, and then he becomes the martyr, and of her manipulating and controlling and constantly flipping the narrative, both of them, Kody and Robyn both, they've just gotten to a point where they give in. Sadly, Garrison's point of view is very, I would say, black and white, because he's like, all right, you can have him. I don't want him. Which maybe that was the point of all of it. Wear them out. But at the same time, there are going to be hurt feelings, and clearly kids do need their parents even after they are grown. But Kody's behavior makes it a lot easier for them to come to the conclusion that they don't need him anymore because he doesn't treat them well. But Kody's reaction to this just gets worse as more information is revealed.
I miss Dayton, and I want to amend my relationship with my sibling. I'm going to try, but if Robyn's there, I don't give it. The truths were revealed, and we all just said, cool, this is the point where we all go. We're done.
The sad part in all of this is that Robyn has this uncanny ability to alienate. And the reason why she makes this decision, I believe, my opinion, to say that we're done, we don't want to have anything to do with you, is a way to control her kids having access to anyone other than her. She has alienated her kids from literally everyone. She turned her kids against her ex-husband. And what she did in this situation is so eerily the same to what she did to her ex-husband, making herself the victim when he was actually the one that she stole money from and then was horrible to him. And then she flips it on him and says he was the one that was doing this to her, makes her kids believe that he's dangerous, much like what's happening with the Brown family, spoiling their brains, spoiling their heads. And the kids just want to have a relationship with their siblings, but Robyn would never allow that. She wouldn't, because she's just vindictive and she doesn't want them to know or be exposed to anything that she can't control. It's really sad. And it's sad because I'm sure they do miss their siblings. Now, Gabe does mention that he talks to Aurora. And the odd thing is that Aurora says, I've heard that my siblings have bad feelings about us, in one breath, but then says, my interactions with Gabe have been nothing but kind and loving. So clearly, if they could get together and talk, they would. But Robyn would never allow that because Robyn's like a hovering helicopter mom. She'll never let her kids know the truth. That's why her kids don't know their dad. It's just so sick. It's wrong. But Kody gets in here in a little bit.
This is a divorce. And in most senses, a divorce is a civil war. So she's just feeding flames in a civil war. And I think she's got some terrible karma coming.
So Kody's accusing her of basically, Christine, allowing the kids the chance to speak about their grievances, about what happened with the family, really for the first time, where they're given their own platform on the show to share what they went through. Kody has been disparaging, degrading, name-calling, and otherwise just speaking very poorly about his kids on this show for years. And they're finally getting an opportunity to share their side of the story. Do I agree with the way that this is playing out on the show? No. I think it's awful that the kids are in the middle of this. But I could also see that the kids deserve the space on the show. If they're going to be name-called and they're going to be disparaged, and if they're going to be accused of doing horrible things to the family, they deserve their own time to share their side of the story. Before, Kody had the option to control the show and to dictate what was said about him, but he doesn't have that control anymore. And so his reaction to that is to just accuse Christine of creating a civil war. And that's not what's happening. She's just letting them speak. Do I necessarily agree with doing this on the show? No, absolutely not. It makes me really uncomfortable. But I also see where they've already walked into this mess. They're already at this, they've spent all these years publicly. At least they should try to correct some of the damage that Kody's done. So I guess in that respect, this isn't a bad thing for them to use the platform. It's like a double-edged sword, really.
Imagine your father loving you.
Every talk, every trash talk, every opinion is absolutely reciprocated. I think the same thing of them.
If there's one thing that I wish Robyn and her kids could understand is that we'd all forgive them. If you want to come back and participate in this gift exchange with us, you're always welcome. You know, the arms are open. But if you don't, then we're not going to chase.
Kody spends all of his time trash talking. All he's done is trash talked his sons on the show. I mean, a couple seasons ago, he called Garrison a narcissist, and he has called Gabriel names. He accused his sons of wanting to get their pencils wet, and that's why they couldn't keep to COVID rules. And when Gwendolyn's response is, I wish I knew what it felt like to have a dad that loved me, Christine's response was, well, I tell her all the time that her dad loves her, but it's her dad's job to show her. And Kody's response is to say, all the trash talk, all the crap that they're saying, all their feelings, all of it, it's reciprocated. And I feel the exact same way about them. So the difference here is that he's the father. It was his job as their dad, to love them, to provide for them, to be there for them. And instead of listening to the feedback and receiving it, it's, well, I feel the same about them. I don't want to talk to them. They're jerks. So if that's the case, all of this playing the victim he's been doing for the last 2 seasons about how he's being so persecuted by the family, he exposed himself. I feel the exact same way. I don't want to talk to them, is what he said. So if that's what Kody thinks, that means everything he's been saying on the show about wanting to reconcile and wanting to have a conversation and wanting an apology was just for the show, to make it seem like he wasn't a bad dad. And you know, I've noticed something about Kody's redemption arc this season. He's doing a lot of I'm the best dad clips with kids to try to sort of prove that the children that he does have access to, that he's still an amazing father. He went and took Aurora to get her ears pierced. He took the kids out on their little ATVs. And in this episode, he has McKelty over to show that he's a great grandfather. So he's trying to like gaslight in the middle of all of this. Like, see, I'm not a bad dad. These kids love me. I'm not a bad dad. I'm the best dad. Kody's built his entire brand on being a good dad and good husband. That's as delusional as that is. It's like Jim Bob Duggar. That's what they think they are. They think they're amazing fathers. And that has been exposed on the show. And the difference between the Duggars and the Browns is that the Duggars never got honest on the show. They never were able to expose Jim Bob. On this show, at least, you're seeing the reverse happen, where Kody's been the one disparaging, been the one degrading, been the one controlling, that now that he's lost control and people can see that he isn't the best dad that he said he was, and he wasn't the greatest husband, his reaction is, well, I don't like them either, and I have all the same complaints. He doesn't have the same complaints because he was the father. He doesn't have the same complaints because it was his choice to abandon the family for Robyn. And he justified it in this episode by basically claiming that he had a favorite because his favorite wife was loyal to him and everyone else was not loyal to him. So in Kody's eyes, if you're not loyal and obeying his rules, you're nothing to him. And he feels like you do. But his reaction, again, doesn't make sense. So just remember while you're watching this season, while Kody and Robyn try to play the victim and throw out narratives that they still have family members that love them, they weren't kicked off of Brown Island. They are on Brown Island by themselves, and they kicked everyone else out. Christine said in the same episode that she wishes that Kody and Robyn would have just been honest with them and said, hey, listen, we've met, we just want to be together in a monogamous relationship, and we need to figure out what to do as a family. But instead, they strung them along. Kody strung them along. Everyone was strung along because of the show. Without the show, Kody, none of these family members have income. You have to remember that. That's the other part of this, is that the season is getting really hard to watch because the kids are being forced into conversations that no child should have to do on camera. And as much as Christine says, oh, I'm so glad they're being vulnerable, and it's really, we need to have these hard conversations, I just can't help but thinking, gosh, even Christine and Janelle are exploiting their kids in this moment. And at times, while we know that Kody is the bad guy and we know that polygamy is the bad thing, you've still got Janelle saying it's not polygamy that's what's wrong here. No, it is. It is polygamy is what's wrong. It's exactly what's wrong. Polygamy created this dynamic. It created jealousy. It created insecurity. It created narcissism. It created a man that was allowed to do and say whatever he wanted. It created women fighting and pining for attention. In fact, everything you're seeing on this show is indicative and follows almost stereotypically what most families in polygamy go through. So yes, it is polygamy that was the failure here. There's a reason why it's considered a crime against humanity. There's a reason why it's considered criminal, because it's so atrocious to women and children. And look at how the women and children are all fighting, and Kody is just skating by of some of this criticism. It's really disgusting. Do I love the direction this season is taking? No. Mid-season trailer is actually out, which is a whole nother story. So we'll get into that later. We have to talk tomorrow about Christine's ex-anniversary date, which is a whole nother side of Christine I had never seen. So Kody calls his children jerks and says he never wants to speak to them again. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.